All right, we ready? And grab your bag and go. That's it. Move, move. Go, 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 go. One, Armani suits and run.
Say this the way the NFL does the bye weeks, it feels different this year. There's like six teams on bye this week, none on Thanksgiving week, and then six again on week 14.
Wait, are teams
Feel
getting multiple buys too?
no,
No,
no, just
Oh, okay.
that's
one
something that
bye.
they're pushing for. But that's what the players' union wants. If they
Yeah.
go to what is it? They would be 18 games. Yeah.
Well, because the Jaguars are on a bye this week, and I could have sworn they already had one, but
They
maybe not.
just
Now
take
you probably
they just
thought
take a
they
lot of
might
games
have
off.
because of the London
Yeah.
games.
Yeah.
Probably because you would have assumed because you would think that any team coming home from London would
But they were there like back-to-back weeks, right?
Did they
yeah.
go? Did they play a third? No, they didn't play a Thursday game. Then go to London, did they, or something like that? Where like they had like a full.
No, it was no, so they had a Sunday game against Indy, and then they went over there, played Chicago, and then the next week they had New England. And then they came back and they had to play Green Bay right away.
Mm.
All Sunday games. Tough, tough schedule.
They have a tough team. Tough team.
Just it's like awful vibes over there.
Just tough. Yeah, just tough. Generally tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mac Jones looked horrible too. I mean, he's just
And there's nothing like it's like Mac Jones leads the team in passing with 111 yards. Etienne leads in rushing with 44. And then the next week, Jones, 138 yards passing, Etienne, 27 yards rushing. It's like, good Lord, guys.
The game. I mean, their defense also just like firmly like quit.
Horse.
It seems like they're
Yeah.
just not. They're not trying much. Like
No.
they're not playing full speed.
That's one too. Like, if they do fire Doug Peterson mid-season, like, I know sometimes like when teams make a coaching change, you get like that bump the next week. I don't think there's going to be a bump.
No,
I'm also not
Uh,
sure. I mean, I feel it almost feels like if they haven't fired him now, like they might
why
just wait
do
it
it?
out.
Why do it mid-season?
Because like they didn't do it when they came back from London, and
Yeah.
then they were going into last week's game against the Lions, saying basically the our future, like how we decide our future, hinges on the result of this game.
Yeah.
They got blown out, and they didn't fire him there either.
Yeah. They must
they
just.
didn't just get blown out either. That was like a different kind of blood. That was
Yeah, they got killed. So I don't know. It almost feels like. Plus, like they'll probably come off the bye and like fucking win a bullshit game. I don't even know who they play, but I don't know. Yeah, it kind of feels like maybe they'll just ride it out. Yeah, especially in the bye week. They're going into the bye week too. Like they haven't fired him yet. I
I
don't know.
love that Dan Campbell kept the starters in until like the last drive too.
good for him. Good for
Yeah.
him.
Fucking hilarious. Like, did not relent.
No,
14, they went into the half with a 28-6 lead, and then they hung 14 on him in the third, and then
well,
another 10 in the fourth.
they hit a deep ball to JMO, I think, to open up the second half, and you were just like,
Yeah.
oh my god, oh my god,
It
like
was
they're just gonna kill everybody. They're just gonna get everybody a touchdown, a few guys a
yeah,
couple touchdowns.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a smash spot for the Lions, and they smashed. They took advantage.
All right,
Hey,
we can start.
let's do it. Week 12. So recapping week 11. Just another ho-hum 2 and 3 week for the Armani suits and run. Kiernan let us off with a Dolphins -7 pick. What they win? It was like 34-19 over the Raiders.
Comfy.
Yep, nice win there. I was on the Packers -5.5 against the Bears. Was assuming, Bears just kind of in dire straits. Um, and they hung in there. I mean, almost won the game. Packers needed what was it, a blocked field goal at the end there to hold them off. But I mean, we also I mean, I was thinking about this. I mean, I do think the Bears generally outplayed the Packers in that game, but we also had Jordan Love throw a pick at the 1, and then they also had the ball inside the 5 and went for it 3rd and 4th down and weren't able to punch it in. Bears took over on downs, and it was like it just felt like there were multiple times Packers were driving or were right there, had a chance, could have gotten us, outside the number and put us in a spot to cover, but they just didn't get it done and gave up too many long sustained drives to the Bears. So, I guess Bears got a little bit of a bump from the OC switch, but I don't know, just a bit of an underwhelming, disappointing effort from the Pack there. Um, and then Bowen, you were on the Niners, -6.5. They were going up against the Seahawks. What was the five? We didn't cover.
The Seahawks went outright on a Geno
Yeah.
Smith scramble for 12 yards,
Yeah,
touchdown.
yeah.
So they lost outright, but gross game, just gross,
Um,
gross.
tried going back to the well there, back-to-back weeks with the Niners, and didn't work out, unfortunately. And then Sunday night, Bowen and I were on the Bengals +2. Kieran was on the Chargers -2, and we didn't get the win on the pick. Chargers won 34-27. Hell of a night though for the boys.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Kieran, I mean, was it a couple weeks ago had a great, was it a Thursday night with the Bengals? I think you went like 9-0 on the slip. And then Sunday night, was it what did we hit? It was like we went clean 4-0 on the anytime touchdown picks.
Yeah.
That returned I want to say like a 38-1 payout.
I think it went in reverse order too.
Yeah.
I believe it started with
Disley. He was like
Disley.
he
Then it
was like
was Quentin Johnson.
yeah.
Then it was Dobbins, and then it was
And then we got Chase.
Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
Nah, that was a sick game. That was a sick game.
Yeah. That was tremendous. Um and did you hit on the props too?
Yeah, I think the 9-0 night that you're referencing was this night.
Well, but you had a huge night in that Ravens Bengals game.
I did also have a big night then. Yes, that is
Yeah.
true. That is true.
You
But that
like
was what? That was I had Andrews. I had I gotta go back now. I gotta look at my bet history.
Chase
Well,
had 2 touchdowns in that game.
all right, let me see. Dude, what week was that?
Two
Uh
week,
that would have been 2 weeks ago. It was the Thursday night game for like
week 10.
I know you had a huge you
Yeah,
might
that
have
was a 21 yeah, 9-0, 21 unit.
yeah,
That's pretty damn good.
just a casual 21 unit.
And then what was the yeah, 11 and 1, 48.46, but technically on the game I was 11 and 0. It was the loss was the parlay of our picks. The so the props wise I went 11 and 0 there. That was a little 41
But what
41 unit.
why would you have lost the parlay if you hit on everything?
The parlay of our spread picks.
Oh, of your spread pick.
All right.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, so I mean that was a huge night because I think in total I ended up like yeah, because what did I do? I think I took your anytime touchdown bets and I parlayed them, and it was like before the game I had put a bet in for $10 on it. And then I was like putting the kids to bed and I forgot that I had put the bet in. And I was like, "Oh shit, I got to parlay Kieran's bets." And I went and I threw a $5 bet on it. And then I sat down to go watch the game and I'm like looking at my bet slips and I'm like, "Wait, I bet this shit twice. What the fuck was I doing?" Because I had forgotten that I had put it in like when you first sent it. And then it worked out, which it never worked out like that, but it did.
Yeah, it was a good night. Gianna took it too.
Yeah, that's right. Gianna did like a what, $20 bet,
Yeah.
which is huge. That's a huge one.
Yeah,
Man,
no, it was great. It was a great night in the household. We were
Yeah,
jumping around. We had Stella. We were celebrating. We were hoisting her up.
it's unbelievable. Yeah, paid 55 to 1. And then I got it 66 to 1 with a 10% parlay boost. It's tremendous.
Yeah, no, it felt good. I felt like I was
Yeah.
providing for my family. It really was a great feeling.
you just don't see those nights very often. I mean, you just don't see them very often.
You got to enjoy them,
Yeah, truly.
you know. But it's reminds me of that Andy Bernard quote from The Office when he goes, when they talk about the good old days, I wish you knew they were when you're in them, you know,
Yeah.
the good
Yeah,
old uh,
I take it in though, but then you move on to the next one, and then I mean look at
back to
the
work.
the Thursday night game. I mean we were so close. If Pickens and Wilson connect on that throw to the end zone, all of a sudden it goes from being a loss on the night to suddenly it's a profitable night because it's
Yeah,
three or four different bets there. So
yeah, yeah,
it can come that close, but that's what it's all about. It's all about being close. You can make good bets that don't win. It's
yeah,
you can watch them, you can see that you have the read. I mean,
you
sometimes
just
you pick a tight end to score, and it's a different. I had Njoku to have a bunch of receptions, and all of a sudden, Akins and Whitehurst are getting
yeah,
those catches instead, and it's like, all right. I mean, the read was there to the tight ends, but it wasn't Njoku that night, so
yeah.
yeah, you can
You
feel
just
good about that stuff. But yeah,
you just want to be in the mix, It's like there's nothing worse than, you know, putting a bet in and then like your team's getting blown out like halfway through, the second quarter, and it's like there's no point watching, or
Yeah.
guy goes down with an injury in the first quarter, and you find yourself tweeting at FanDuel to void the bets. It's like you don't want to be in that position. It's just
yeah. And I mean, that's kind of why I don't like the unders for props because it's like you can always, especially when it's like receptions or anything like that, or not receptions, but like yards or anything. Like a guy can always, you can have the right read on that. Where I mean, like a guy like Derrick Henry is like the perfect example where you can bet his under if you want to, and you could be right for 90% of the game,
and then he
and then
rips.
all of a sudden he just rips off a 90-yard touchdown,
Yeah,
and it's over.
yeah,
And but that's the reason why it's like with props, because like I feel like with like an under for like a game total, I feel like you can have a better feel on. But yeah, like I said, when it just comes down to one play like that, especially for a player's
yeah,
yardage or a player
yeah,
to score a touchdown, where a guy could be totally locked down, but he could just slip loose for one play,
yeah,
and that could be it. But that's why I like taking the overs on that stuff too, because then you're always in it. But like you said, you
yeah.
don't want to just feel like you're out of it by the second quarter or anything. But that's always the goal. But
Well, like even what was it, Russ's passing total? I think he almost hit it at halftime last night.
yeah.
You know, so
I'm glad he put up all those yards in the first half because it did get. I mean,
yeah,
it felt like the snow clearly had an effect. Like Elijah Moore, he had like two or three more
Yeah.
targets, and he wasn't able to connect. He just needed one more catch. But it always felt like those passes were just off because of like the snow, and like it was
yeah,
just tough to make those. But
yeah.
um, what one bet I did want to make was Jameis to throw an interception, but it was like minus 190, and I was like, I can't throw that in there, but that would have felt good to hit on the way that he threw that one. I just thought that was
It,
Yeah.
so.
it's hard to be negative about such a positive guy. It's like you don't want to bet on Jameis to throw a pick because like the pregame interviews, the hot mics catching him saying shit at the line, like he's a guy you want to root for. I don't know. Yeah, it's incredible.
He's
Incredible game.
he's having a moment right now.
Incredible game. It is an
Yeah,
incredible game. The NFL owes him just to cover up the whole Deshaun stink with him.
yeah.
Just
He's brought some life to the Browns for sure.
I tweeted about it today. I will say, if we're talking about a guy covering up the Deshaun stink, I mean, you only got to scroll so far down on Jameis Winston's
I'm
Wikipedia page.
talking before and after. I'd say put the cutoff at 2020.
It
2020
was
on.
pre-LASIK, so it was.
2020, 20, yeah, pre-LASIK.
Pretty lazy.
Pre-LASIK was a
Yeah,
different
yeah,
time. He was blind. He was
yeah,
blind. 2020
And
on.
it's
Great
like, well,
time.
because like I tweeted it today because it was like some guy that was like, if you don't love this guy, your mother didn't love you. And it's like, I mean,
Oh
you know,
Jesus.
like why can't we just be normal about stuff? And it's like I like Jameis, like by all accounts, he seems like he's at least from those stories and those allegations and everything, which he hasn't exactly been cleared of, if you read a little bit about
Yeah.
it. But
I want to say that he's actually like taking guilt on all of them to
yeah,
an
kind
extent.
of like there was some stuff where it's like the case was dropped and like you know the girl talks about how she felt like she was like heavily pressured by you know different people and involved and all that stuff. But then there was like evidence that I don't know, it's this whole thing. He really has not been he has not cleared his name necessarily, uh but it's like this guy. It's like, why can't we just feel like yeah? It seems like maybe he's healed from whatever was going on with that, and you know
Yeah.
it seems like he's a good person. He treats people well, and you know he's goofy and all that stuff. But like you know why can't it just be that? Like why does it have to be like you know if you don't love this guy, you're a piece of shit. Like
Yeah.
you know like because it's like I mean it's just funny how people like pick and choose like what they'll like sweep under the rug. Like if he was all of a sudden you know if all of a sudden Jameis Winston was like, you know, not, you know, I gotta go there, but it's like if he was like, oh, like I love Trump or something, the same guy that's tweeting that would probably turn on.
I mean, FSU settled with the victim for almost $1 million,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and then the quote from the attorney, although we regret we will never be able to tell our full story in court, it is apparent that a trial many months from now would have left FSU fighting over the past rather than looking towards its very bright future.
Ugh.
yeah.
I mean, wow.
Ugh.
Like I said, so it's like, you know, why do we have to be like, oh, you must love this person? It's like, oh, he's a fucking quarterback. Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
Like,
The school president said, this is wild. And I mean, obviously the attorneys have disputed this, but the president at that time said, uh, the victim will receive $250,000 of the settlement and her attorneys will get 700,000. Kinsman's lawyer, John Clune, told CNN that that was not true, and the attorney's fees are not going to be anything close to 700K. Tell you what, though, I know a lot about lawyers. Probably not that far off.
it's probably like, yeah, it's not gonna be anywhere close. It's gonna be much higher.
I mean, the thing we always say, because like, I mean, we deal with lawyers a lot in my business, and the thing we always say is like, the only people that ever win are the lawyers.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, like. You can go back and forth. You can argue for years in court. You can, have appeals, do this, do that. But like all that ever does is drag it out, and all that means is more attorney's fees. They're the only people that ever win. It's crazy. So,
Shout out
um,
Kim Wexler.
yeah. The all right. So great game, great night for the personal betting. Um, it was great to have the Bengals come back, tie it up, be right there. Um, and but what did McPherson miss? Like two field goals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly if he had made those, changes the complexion of the game, would have covered +2, but he didn't. Came all the way back just to not get the cover, which was tough. Um, and then for the other primetime pick,
Oh, it was Man Campbell, wasn't it?
we went Man Campbell, spun the wheel, Man Campbell. Lions -14. And final score of the Lions game was 52-6. It's an easy cover.
Incredible.
Easy cover. So the man Campbell goes to 1-1 on the season.
Mm.
So we are overall 22-32-1. Um, Kieran improves to 8-3 with his picks. I dropped to 3-7-1. Bowen is 3-8. Costanza is 1-0. 40, the foreign correspondent is 1-3, and the man Campbell is 1-1. Perfect
Nice.
breakdown. Um, all right. Week 12, want to get into it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kieran, for the wheel,
Yeah.
the man Campbell, how What will that go against this week?
Good games.
Philly and the Rams and Baltimore and the Chargers.
Okay, so we'll have a,
2 out of 3.
okay, got
Yeah,
it,
two
got
out of
it.
those three. So we'll either do both primetime games or Man Campbell in one of the primetime games.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right.
All right, Tristan.
KB streak's over. I feel like you got it like 3 shows in a row.
I don't know if it was. I don't think I was first last time.
Oh, really?
I don't think so.
Maybe I'm getting my wires crossed. Okay, never mind.
Actually, let me check. I can check. I'll check the tweet. Tristan, you can do your pick. I'll look up the tweet because I think I put it when I tweeted out. I think I put it in the order.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
Um, all right. I mean, I'll be curious to know if you guys had this on your card as just like on it, but I am going to take the Packers -2 over the Niners. Um, they're at home. The line has swelled to 5.5 since the news about Brock Purdy and Bosa hit. Um, I think we talk a lot about the Niners as a team that like when key players are out, like they look like a completely different football team. Um, and I think in this case, like, obviously signal caller being out, that's significant. Um, and then obviously Bosa, I mean, he is the engine of that defense. And I think Bowen, it was you that said like, we saw how well Gino moved the ball after Bosa left that game, and
Mhm.
it's a game changer. But Packers are at home. I think obviously coming off the close win, like I mean, I hope I have a bit of a different result. Like, Bone, you took the Niners and then went back to the well, weeks 10 and 11. I'm going to go back to the well with the Packers this week. I'm going to take a -2 against the Niners. It just, especially given the value that I feel like we're getting on this line. Now that Purdy and Bosa are out, it just feels like a game, if not we have to take, I have to take. So I'm taking it.
I like to pick. This game was not on my board at all throughout the week. I wasn't paying too much mind about the Purdy injury. The Bosa one always kind of sounded pretty long shot, but I didn't think Purdy was actually gonna be ruled out on a Friday. So I really and I was never gonna go back to the Niners 3 times in a row. So that I kind of just steered clear of that game all week. Obviously, the value with the line shifting so much and inflating to 5.5, it could end up being 6 or so, or higher around game time. Um, so yeah, just on that alone, like the home team within a field goal, Packers can put up a lot of points.
Yeah, I think it's a fair pick. I just kind of crossed it off completely once, especially with the whole quarterback situation. But even when we were just monitoring Brock Purdy, I just wasn't too interested in it. But of course, especially when the line jumps up that much, you might as well take the value here. So, I guess it feels good to be on that side of the line. Knowing that it's up a whole field goal now. So yeah, I think it's a good pick. I do think it's going to be just a total. I think it's going to be an underfest. I think run, run, run. I think Josh Jacobs, Christian McCaffrey. It's going to be all of them the whole game for both sides. So, we'll see who can execute that better. But I mean, of course, just with the advantage that the Packers have at quarterback, I like them at the small number, especially with how much it's grown.
Yeah, and the quarterback is Brandon Allen for the Niners.
Yeah,
So I mean, I don't
yeah,
know if I.
yeah. It feels like one of those where we'll probably end up seeing dubs. I wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, yeah, it could be a.
Which if
I
that's
can't
the case,
imagine they're too committed to Brandon Allen.
and if that's the case, hopefully that's a pretty good sign of how things are going for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It could be a slow game for sure. Slow game, but at least it's not like a big number. I mean, two is very reasonable.
Yeah.
Two is very reasonable.
I think it speaks to maybe they knew like maybe they had a better idea about Bosa because he had left that game. but it seems like that Purdy news was probably pretty shocking because, for the Circa to have the line set at 2 and then for it to jump that much once that news came out, like they obviously did not have both injuries fully baked into that. So
Mhm.
very surprising.
All
All right,
right.
back to the wheel.
Yeah, I did do some counting, and I have the official tally on how many times each of us has gone first. Bowen has gone first, and this includes this week as well. So Bowen has gone first twice. Tristan, you have now gone first 4 times.
Hmm.
I have let off 6.
Wow,
Nice.
it's a commanding lead.
Hmm.
Yeah, but you gained one today. You brought it
Yeah,
down to 2.
yeah.
All right. Sure. All right. All right. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull up this game real quick. I'm taking Denver -6. Uh, I think this is a pretty good team right now. I think that they're just playing really good football. I think they've kind of figured things out. Um, I think Sean Payton truly did get his guy. And once I saw that pick, I was like, you know what? I get it. Like it just made sense to me, right? You just see like the type of quarterback that Bo Nix is. Sean Payton was obviously so eager to get him, and it seems like it was a perfect match. And they're starting to figure things out. He's starting to throw it well. We know that he can run. They're starting to get that ground game going. Audric Estime, he played fine when he got the start 2 weeks ago, but Javonte Williams came back and played really well in response to that. And they have that three-headed attack now. They are working all those guys in, and I feel like Peyton's kind of strategically doing that because it seems strange to kind of be so like kind of yo-yo with how you're going to use each of these guys. But I feel like he's starting to. It's almost like trying things out and figuring out who works where and who does what. And I think they're putting things together to have a really strong finish to the season and really really put a strong hold on a wild card spot at least. I don't think that they're going to be able to
Nope.
able to execute their whole offense, and I think that they have a really good defense. I do not think that the Raiders are very good. I think that with them being on the road, we're kind of giving a couple points back to the Raiders, so we can get them at a little bit of a discount here. I think that they're playing good football. I feel like the Raiders are a little bit dead. Brock Bowers, he's still in a good position where he can have a good matchup here. But he played well against them when they last played. I don't know what that final score was, but I just feel like the way that they match up is very advantageous for Denver right now with how they're playing. So I'm going to take them inside of a touchdown.
The the Raiders are pretty banged up on the offensive side of the ball. Both Zamir White and Amir Abdullah are doubtful for the game. So they're going to be running with like Dylan Lobe, and I'm not sure if there's a fourth running back on that team. I don't know. I'm not totally sure. That's never good when you have Gardner Minshew throwing the ball to pretty much just Brock Bowers. It's pretty limited on that side of the ball. Down a few guys when they really can't afford to be. So I think it's tough sledding. Broncos defense is elite. I think this coaching matchup this week, just across the NFL, is probably one of the more lopsided head coaching battles. I don't think Antonio Pierce can really like sniff around even Sean Payton's level of coaching. I don't think he's even worth you know worth half as much as Sean Payton and his game planning is. So I think it's just a masterclass division game. Sean Payton's going to be ready. Always will have his guys ready. Can't say the same about Antonio Pierce. So like the pick. Like
Yeah, I
maybe
looked it up. When they played week whatever. I don't have the week here, but Denver won 34-18. Obviously that was at Mile High. The Raiders started off up 10-0. They had a 57-yard touchdown pass, Gardner Minshew, Brock Bowers, and then Denver went on to score it was a 34-8 run for the rest of the game. Bowers still had 97 yards. He had a touchdown. He played really well. Like I said, I think this can still be a good matchup for him. And I think that he can go off, get his numbers, and they can still lose pretty big. And obviously, looking back at their last matchup this season, that was the case in that matchup as well. So yeah, I just feel like these are two teams going in opposite directions. I feel like Denver could definitely be blowing them out this week.
Mhm.
Uh, People forget the Raiders beat the Ravens in week 2. It's been a long time since that fucking happened.
Yeah.
I was just looking at their schedule and I'm like, holy shit, they did do that. It's like even more stunning to look back and think about that given the state of where they are now. But yeah, I like this pick. I wasn't on my card, but it was one of those games as I was looking that, I definitely spent a little bit more time thinking about than others. But yeah, I think just kind of given the way that the Broncos are trending, obviously the way that the Raiders are trending, Bo Nix continues to look good every week. They've got a very good defense over there. I think Bone, you said it, like lopsided coaching match. So yeah, I think it's a good pick.
All right.
Murray, man. Fuck off. Murray, cat. Get out of here. Fucker. Dude's fucking biting my fucking hand off. Trying to pick.
Trying to
All
lock
right,
in.
Bowen.
Uh yeah, so I like the Bucs on the road. Um -6 at New York Giants. Obviously Daniel Jones not the starter anymore, not on the team anymore as of sometime today, sometime this afternoon. So Giants clearly going through some things. Pretty much all year they've really struggled to win games and to really do anything correct. Dayball, unfortunately, I think he's a good coach, but I don't think he's got much to stand on anymore. Seems like the organization is punting on this year and throwing Tommy DeVito out there. Um, on the other side of the coin, the Bucs are 4-6. Currently 2 games back in the NFC South. Falcons are on a bye week, so they're Bucs are playing for a lot. Still, they can still win their division, and getting Mike Evans back off a month long IR stint for a hamstring. Um, he's gonna eat. They always force feed him the ball, especially with him being really the only or one of the only receivers on the team, with Godwin being out, that has a really really good rapport with Baker. Kind of going off of that, Baker Mayfield is dark horse MVP. It's very very unlikely, but his level of play this year has been incredible, despite losing his top 2 targets and kind of having a stack decked against him a lot of times this season. The wins haven't really been there, but I do think they're set for a big second half of the season and a playoff push. I do think they win their division. I don't see it with the Falcons. If a few of the close games that the Bucs have been in this year, I think they'd be on top of that division right now and coasting to a playoff spot. So, um, you know, like the Bucs this week, just to blow the fucking shit out of the Giants. Pause. Um, but yeah, 6 points might be a lot on the road, but in this matchup, I think it's really, you know, realistic.
I like the pick. It was second on my card. Um, love the Baker vibes. Fun in that high school football team that went on to win state. Um,
Ooh, I saw that. That's a
yeah,
good call out.
just
That's
like
a great call out.
yeah. I mean, it just seems like a great week to be a Baker fan. So, um, and yeah, like Tommy DeVito. It looks like Neighbors also is questionable.
Yeah,
He's dealing with
it didn't seem like he practiced today.
didn't practice today, popped up on the injury report as a non-participant. So, I mean, it sounds like he's gonna play, but I mean, he's definitely like, he's had a massive drop off after like the first 3, 4 weeks of the season. I mean, obviously there was the concussion, but he's been dealing with some other stuff too. And he, I mean, even whether or not he plays, like with Tommy DeVito under center, I just don't know how much that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, I like it. Obviously you guys know I have Mike Evans score once and twice this week,
True.
and I might even look at some of his yardage props because I just feel like they're going to come out, they're going to be slinging, especially with no Chris Godwin. I feel like it's just going to be all Mike Evans all the time. I think Baker really has been missing him, even though he's sort of been able to make do without him. But Mike Evans, obviously, he has that 1,000 yard streak. And to hit that, he needs to have 95 yards a game for the rest of the season. So I don't know. I kind of like them just come out, throw it at Evans, throw, throw, throw. It's going to be all him. It's also a good rushing matchup for these running backs. So I think that two-headed attack, maybe three if they're going to get Sean Tucker involved, but I think they're going to be able to run the ball in this Giants team. And then I think that they're going to be able to go back to their horse, Mike Evans, through the air and have a lot of success there. So yeah, I think it's just going to be more of an offensive showcase for Tampa Bay. So I do like the pick a lot.
And even on the Bucs defensive side of the ball, they've been really, really leaky in their secondary. But I just can't imagine Tommy DeVito coming out there and just absolutely ripping up that defense on a short. I'm assuming short week. Feels like the decision to bench Jones was Wednesday, and who knows if Tommy DeVito really had any notice before then. You know what I mean? He may have not been expecting to step into this role. With this offense. So I especially when he was, I think there was a story going around. Drew Lock has been the backup all year, like depth chart wise, like second string. And then when push came to shove, when it came time to name a starter, they named DeVito. The starter. Maybe it's because they've seen it with him. He's had a little bit of success with them in the past, but I found that to be interesting. It seems like the Giants are just like truly like slinging shit against the wall, like seeing what sticks, and they're all gonna get fired anyway. So like, who cares?
I think what
Um,
it is, because what I was seeing was that he has a lot of performance incentives in his contract. And I think a lot of those were put in there where it's like, well, if you hit these, then that'll be good for our team. That'll be helping us improve our position in the standings. And there's really no incentive for the Giants to want that right now. I think at this point, they probably want to be worse and have a worse pick. So
right.
I just don't think that, like, anything that he goes in and does to possibly hit those incentives, which I think at this point in the season, they probably think are likely to be hit. They probably just want to avoid that because it's like, well, if he hits those, one, we have to pay him, and two, we also get a worse draft pick.
And that's
For
and that's
what?
that's a really bad message to send to your own team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're not trying to that is truly like just business. Like they're running this team with not winning in mind. Like that's just such a bad. I saw. I mean, I don't know how much I put into it, but I saw a couple stories out there that there was Giants players who were upset about Daniel Jones being benched to begin with because like he's clearly not he's clearly the best quarterback on the team, like skill wise, just like from a general perspective, like he is like the best guy for the job, and just benching him just to bench him was discouraging. So I just don't think that locker room is good. I don't think they get any bump from DeVito here at all. It just does not feel like that sort of benching and replacement.
Yeah, I mean, this is also the same Giants organization that benched Eli Manning for one game of Geno Smith. So it's like they don't exactly handle this stuff well. But yeah, I mean, it's like you also could assume like Daniel Jones. I'm sure he's a great guy. So it's like, I bet he has plenty of friends on that team, and the fact that he was benched, I don't think that all these wide receivers like hated him and didn't want him to play. Like they probably at the very least feel for the guy. So yeah, the way that they just kind of kick him out there because it's like at this point, right, you're losing. Like, why even give a shit? I guess they don't want to pay him more or the injury guarantee and things like that. But yeah, once the team kind of shows that it's more about the money for them, I feel like there has to be kind of a sour note for these players because they have a lot to play for with their careers to continue, and that might be
Right.
beyond the Giants organization. So, to know that it's like you're out here fighting for your next contract, and this team doesn't really care about you. They'll just
Or just yearly incentives for these guys. Like you're actively putting in like maybe the third best quarterback on the team just because you don't want people to hit their incentives, like maybe like including like directly the receivers' incentives if they put in a guy who's like incapable of feeding, so and so 500 yards or something like that for the rest of the season, like for like X amount of dollars. It's just a bad look all around. So Giants suck. Giants and Jets being the two worst football franchises like in the league currently is absolutely mind blowing with the market that they're pulling from and shit like that. It's absolutely crazy.
Contract notes, playing time incentives, a quarter million each for 40%, 50, 60, and 70% plus snaps. Passing incentives cumulative. It's a quarter million for each one. 92 and a half passer rating, 65% completion rate, 88 passer rating plus 15 touchdowns, 88 passer rating plus 2,000 pass yards. And then there were team incentives, 55 to 69% snaps plus a playoff berth, 70 plus percent snaps plus a playoff berth. Each of those were 500,000. So
Wow.
obviously the playoff berth is out of reach, but I guess, if there's no qualifying limits or anything, then yeah, they probably don't want him going out there completing 65% of his passes or having a good passer rating. Or at this point, I guess maybe there's enough games where he theoretically could hit 15 touchdown passes and all that. So it's like, yeah, like there's like a way where they could have paid him like, $750,000 plus, if he gets to 40, 50, 60% snaps, they don't want to pay him 1 million. And yeah, I guess that's the statement they want to make.
Bucks -6. Book it.
Right. I saw a thing today. The Cowboys should pick up Daniel Jones and start him against the Giants on Thanksgiving.
That'd be some
Yeah,
like
I mean, he's
that'd be
not
some
like,
all-time trolling.
Be awesome.
it feels like he should land somewhere. I mean, he's not
Yeah.
horrible. He's not the worst quarterback in the league. I mean, I do feel like that's just like a really bad team. And like I'm not sure that Dayball's a great head coach. I feel like he's a guy that could go back and have some success as an offensive coordinator again or anything like that. But I don't know. It just doesn't feel like he's, okay, they got hot and they were like a 500 team that got into the wild card, whatever. They've been awful for most of his run. So I mean, I think that there were issues with that as well. And yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like he'll end up somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right? Dallas
yeah,
could
he
do it.
will.
The Raiders could go and get him, or
He'll go be Bill Belichick's offensive coordinator wherever Bill ends up.
yeah, he might end up on that staff again. I mean, Belichick meant to text him congratulations when he got the job.
Yeah, that's still a wild story. That's still a all
Well, it makes it more
time.
interesting too when you see things like you see Belichick on the Manning cast and he's taking shots, he's talking shit about the Colts pumping in crowd noise, or
Yeah.
something happens to the Falcons and he's like, "Oh, that's too bad," and he's kind of being petty about the fact that he didn't get that job. And seeing that he has that side, it does make it a little more interesting when you think about him, the accidental text on purpose, basically, to Brian Flores. Like, it seems like he definitely was trying to stir the pot there.
Kieran. All right, we got our three picks in. I think we're off to the primetime game. So, Kieran, you got the wheel. It should be we'll have the Man Campbell game, which is Lions -7.5 against the Colts.
Yeah.
Um, Eagles and Rams, the Sunday night game. Eagles are 3-point favorites on the road. Um, and then you got the Ravens and the Chargers. Ravens are 2.5-point favorites on Monday night against the Chargers.
All right, here we go. Let's go.
Thank God.
I fucking love it. All right.
I
Man
love man.
Campbell.
I love the man Campbell, man. Him being a small dog guy is like just peak Dan
Oh,
Campbell.
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Tiny
He
dog.
he knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly who he is.
All right, here we
He's a
go.
small
Prime
dog guy.
time.
Two great games. I'm excited about wicked excited about both these games. And that's 3 3 point.
So we're doing Philly. It's
Philly is 3-point favorites.
Yeah,
the Rams is yeah,
got
Eagles.
it.
All right. The name wheel.
All right.
Bowen.
Oh,
Give me the Eagles. Um, I think they are a really, really good team. I think their secondary is clamps across the board. Both their rookies are playing really, really well. Their front seven is pretty scary. Definitely their D line. Um, so really, really scary outfit. I think they're able to match up with those Rams receivers pretty well. They'll be able to stifle Kyron Williams, who isn't the most efficient runner. He gets a lot of volume and gets a lot of touchdowns, but isn't the most efficient guy. Not necessarily like a chain mover this year. So I think they're able to stifle them enough, play their game on offense enough, run heavy. Devontae Smith is out, so they will be down him. AJ Brown is still a go, and I think they'll be able to move the ball enough, put enough points on the board to clear that three number pretty easily.
back to the wheel.
Mm-hmm. All right. Myself. Hold on. Pull up my I'm on the Eagles too. I feel like this could be a blowout. I just feel like it's matching up well. I mean, it does make me a little kind of in the same way that I just crossed off that maybe not so dramatically though. I crossed off that Green Bay San Francisco game just because of the quarterback confusion. Having my whole read be like, well, I think that this is going to be a huge passing game for Jalen Hurts, and I think that these receivers are going to have a huge game. All of a sudden, to just have Devontae Smith be out, it does kind of just make me feel a little strange. So I may be a little skeptical on that. I may be less sure of it in real life than I was, uh, you know, 7 to 10 hours ago or something like that. But I think I still got to stick with it. I just feel like that defense is really good. I think they've allowed 6 total touchdowns in their 6 games since their bye week. Only 2 passing touchdowns. That secondary is very good. I think that they are capable of going toe to toe with Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. So I think they can do it. And I just don't think that the Rams have enough firepower, even though Tutu Atwell and Demarcus Robinson can step up at times. I just know it's going to be enough if the secondary can keep playing this way to elevate them and then still pull off the win. So, yeah, I do like Philly here, -3. All
That's
right, let's see how this goes.
Have a lot of power in the three spot right now.
All right,
just for full transparency. I'm gonna share my screen so you can see the pick.
all right, there we go.
I was on the Rams, so we will not have a Costanza. Um, but yeah, um I don't know. I think this is an interesting spot for the Rams. Hurts 3-6 against the spread in road night games. He's historically been bad as a road favorite. 6-14 against the spread coming into the season. He has been better this year, 3-1. But Sirianni, he's awful at prep on extended rest. Philly 2-6 ATS and Hurts' starts under Sirianni. That's the fourth worst in the NFL. Over the time that they've been head coach and QB together. Philly also plays Baltimore next week. Could be a bit of a look ahead. Just knowing Lamar's on deck. I think too, like even last week, like, Philly was down 10-6 heading into the fourth quarter of that game against the Commanders. And I mean, second week in a row that the Commanders had a fourth quarter meltdown, but like bit of a slog going into that fourth. And then obviously they had a big
Mhm.
fourth quarter pulled away. Um, but this Rams team, like it's a great offense. I think it's going to be a really, really good test for this Eagles secondary. I mean, Bowen, you said it.
Yep.
Like, they clamp down on teams, and now you've got a veteran QB in Stafford. You've got this, explosive offense that, can run the ball on you with Kyron Williams, but they've obviously got Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Some of these other guys playing, really well, as well contributing, when they do clamp down on those top two guys. So I think it's going to be like, I'm really interested to watch this matchup. I think it's going to be great. I think it'll be fun, but the Rams, like they had that down week against Miami a couple weeks ago, but outside of that, they've won 4 of their last 5. Seem to be trending, in a good direction, healthy. That NFC West is still wide open too. It's like Cardinals 6-4, everybody else is 5-5, so everybody's in that mix right now. Rams need a win. I think it's a big opportunity for them to get a good quality win. So I like them getting the points.
Maybe to ease your mind, but I once you mentioned the look ahead spot with Lamar, it did ring a bell in my head that I saw this stat.
Yep.
The Eagles have the Ravens on deck next week. Teams with Baltimore on deck are 71 and 39 straight up, 65% since Lamar Jackson became the starter in 2018, which is the best win percentage for any opponent on deck.
So that would mean then that like teams must be like, fuck, we got to win this week because we got Lamar next week. Is that kind of
Yeah,
like,
which I honestly, I mean, one, like I think that should just be the mentality for anything. Like we should
yeah,
win this week.
yeah,
But I do think that makes a lot to me. That makes so much more sense than losing in a look ahead spot where it's like
yeah.
we got to save all our stuff for next week because of that whole thing where it's like you could also just lose this week and then everything you're
They
saving
lose
might
next week.
not be enough. Like I don't know. I feel like you just gotta just go for it and do all that. It's kind of the same thing we've talked about it with the going for the touchdown or going for 3, where it's like at this point, with how impossible the onside kick is, just drive and score the damn touchdown.
Yeah,
Just take those points and just try and close that gap. And then, you're still gonna hopefully end up having to kick any sort of onside kick, and hopefully you can just get in quick position, kick a field goal. But it's like you can't get the onside kick anymore. Just take the points. Just go for it.
yeah, yeah,
Kick a field goal and then just give the ball back. It's just a waste of time. It's so stupid. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, I guess it is just teams saying like, "Fuck it." I mean, we just got to try and win all these, and we can't take that. We can't ever assume we're gonna beat the Ravens.
yeah, yep. And it's the right mentality. I agree. Take care of business now.
And then whoever wrote this had to just include, as they said in The Wire, Lamar is coming.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, come on. Uh, I would love, I would love to see a photo of the person that wrote that. Like I really, I need to,
Let me see if there's an author on this or if it's like a group thing. Hold on, let me.
it's terrible.
Evan Abrams.
Evan Abrams. Hold on.
Oh boy, I can see a thumbnail of his picture, but I'm not able to expand it. Let me check. We gotta check his Twitter.
Yeah, I'm going there too.
The picture on the article does not
Wait,
look good.
wait, is the picture on his X of him in the background with Darren Ravel in the foreground?
Yes, it is.
I mean, that says everything you need to know.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, that tells the whole story.
Oh God.
Yeah, I don't think he posts any pictures of himself.
Hold on,
Yeah, that's him.
I got one. Here.
Like I said, the one in the article he does not look too handsome. He looks all right.
Not here.
Yeah, that's the picture I was seeing.
That's that can't
Jesus
be.
Christ.
That can't be.
I don't think that's him, but
That's gotta be a prank that he's not aware of.
yeah, it's gotta be so. Yeah, that was the picture I was seeing though. I was like,
Oh no, but then you go here and it's like, no, it is right.
oh Jesus Christ, he looks like a guy from the Goonies.
Jesus, that guy's beat the hell, bro.
He's
Pretty bad. He looks like his face ran through like a pasta maker.
Bro, he looks like there's a boot like imprint on his face, like never came back.
this Stucky guy is not. I mean, he's
No, he's an ugly fucker too.
Look at that
Jesus Christ.
hair. Look at that. Oh, these guys. Jesus.
These are the guys getting the opportunities.
Oh my God.
Sure, they make great picks.
Uh, I I don't think they do. Oh,
Oh, actually, I can actually see on the Action
you see
Network.
the record?
Let me see. I'm not sure how to see. Okay, feed maybe. Oh, Jesus Christ! Let me try it on my phone. All right, let's see. Follow, feed. Okay, that's not how I see people, I guess. I don't know how to see people. Hold on. Okay, wait. I think I can just look it up. Okay, Stucky.
Yep.
Let's see how he's doing. Stucky 2. All right. I mean, all time. I don't know how much that weighs, but this is like 11,000 bets. He's up 120 units.
Jeez. Not bad.
Last 30, he's up 8.5.
Okay.
Last week, up 4. Let's see, college or NFL, up 48 units. I feel like I don't know if he clears his record. Like on the Action Network, I clear my record after every season. So I don't know
No.
if this is like lifetime
Yeah,
or
yeah.
let me check this Evan Abrams guy. Evan Abrams. Maybe I don't know. It doesn't look like he has a profile. You'd think that all these guys do. Does Ravel?
You think it'd be like a requirement? Well, Ravel's gone now, isn't
Oh
he?
yeah, he's not there anymore.
No.
Yeah, I remember Blackjack Fletcher. He got busted. He was deleting losses
Oh,
to make
really?
to make his record look better. Which I mean, all of a sudden that just brings us into the question the integrity of all these guys. But I mean, I feel like maybe it's a little more regulated. These days with how serious everything is, like they probably just
Yeah.
absolutely do not want to get caught there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Blackjack Fletcher, I think yeah, like I mean, I don't know whatever became of it, but I do think that he was it was kind of like KD getting caught with the burners. Like I don't know if he ever necessarily confirmed it, but he was caught.
Yeah. It's tough.
It's no good.
What does this Blackjack Fletcher do now?
I don't know.
All right. All right, let's recap the picks.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh Man Campbell, Lions -7.5. Bowen's on the Bucs -6 over the Giants. Kiernan's on the Broncos -6 over the Raiders. I'm on the Packers -2 over the Niners, and then we're going Eagles -3 over the Rams. Bowen and Kiernan were both on the Eagles side.
Nice.
Those are the
I
picks.
actually I actually do think 5-0. I like these picks a lot. I think we maximize this week. Give it everything.
Five
Uh,
favorites.
yep.
I like it. Let's go
Yep.
Four
Good
four
deal.
road favorites.
That's almost certainly a 2 and 3 week. Like, that's
We're
Us,
really
us
testing the
going,
odds here.
us going 4 road favorites is such an us thing to do.
we've learned nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh,
Whatever.
unbelievable.
We're just gearing up for the quarter 4 first place. That's all it is.
I like it. All
Let's
right.
get hot before that and then roll.
I love it.
And then we got Thanksgiving next week.
Yeah.
Kieran, Matt's wondering, he wants to know what all the bets are for Thanksgiving Day.
I'll have them ready to go before I'll have the whole day planned out.
I did tell him, I said, I don't think you can mentally prepare
You can't keep up.
for how much action we're gonna
a
have.
sickening amount of action.
It's gonna be insane.
It's gonna be carnage.
Maybe I'll order like small index cards and then I'll just pass them out to everybody.
Oh, I like that
Like
move.
how I write my big because like I write them on these big ones right here. So it's like maybe I'll get miniature ones. Pass them
Okay.
out like prayer cards.
Now, order You should order like some Thanksgiving themed like little, note cards.
I'll get the quarterback the wristband.
That's
So
awesome.
I'll be watching the game. I'll be flipping it up.
I love it. I love it.
Or maybe I'll put it on like a play sheet and then I'll laminate it. That could be like Albert's math that he eats on, him and Cleo. They can both eat on that, and then just walk around like a coach the whole time, just hold it over the face.
I love it.
I'll print something up, but
Actually, that would be great because like with how many bets you have, like you'll probably have like, game lines, you're gonna have prop bets, you're gonna have touchdown bets. That's gonna be across 3 games. Then you're gonna be parlaying stuff. So it's like, I mean, I can already picture just how many different like groupings of bets you'll have.
Mhm.
It's like different formations. Like you're gonna have play calls within different formations.
I mean,
So
I don't get too crazy. I mean, I usually just do, all the straight bets, and then I just, touchdowns. I usually parlay those. Props. I usually parlay those together. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like if it's gonna be 3 games, I feel like maybe because I don't want to have like 20 units down or something, Like I don't know if I'll treat all three like I do individual primetime games. I might maybe try and just do like one touchdown score from each, and then maybe one or two props from each side or something. We'll see. I'll have to take a look. I'll have to see what the numbers do. Because even like that Cowboys Giants game, like that actually might just be family time right there. That might just be no good reads on that.
yeah, I mean, there's nothing exciting about that game.
But we'll see.
No,
We'll see what the numbers say.
What time is that game?
hopefully the first game.
Might be the middle game.
Mm.
No, it's the
Yeah, it's the 4:30 game.
4:30
Mm.
game, middle one. Yep.
So Chicago, Detroit at 12:30, New York, Dallas at 4:30, Miami, Green Bay at 8:20.
Getting getting the Lions in that first game is fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Starting the day with Man Campbell and like
Well,
how
that's what
much
we're gonna have to figure out because that's gonna be on Thursday. So that means that we're gonna have to record Wednesday if
oh yeah.
we want to do that.
I can make Wednesday work. I can make Wednesday work.
Well, let's wait and see too what Tom sends out in terms of like when we're gonna get the lines.
Right.
We may not get the lines until Thursday morning, and his email. I'll go back and see like what he did for last year, but like it may be that I mean, we could pick them based on like just projected lines at that time, and then, but it may be a thing where he like sends the link at 8 in the morning,
Right.
and then I've got to like instantly send in the pick, you know.
Yeah, I
But
mean we can get the line straight from the Circa app too. So we'll at least
yeah,
have it as far as accuracy goes. We'll at least be on their
yeah,
platform. So if we were to do it early and do it on projected lines, I mean I don't think
yeah,
that the lines are going to move too much from a Wednesday night to Thursday
yeah,
morning or anything like that. So we definitely could just look ahead and do that if we wanted to. But yeah, we can try and talk it out and figure
yeah.
all that out. But
Yeah, I'll go back. I'll look up what he sent out last year for Thanksgiving too. And just that way we have a sense of what it'll probably look like.
Mm-hmm.
But, all right. Well, let's get 5-0.
Yes, sir.
all right,
See you guys
I'll see you guys.
later.
Good.